More than 300 state and local police, sheriff, fire, and emergency units in the U.S. have drones or are using drones to capture suspects and fight fires. But the unmanned aircraft systems are also sparking privacy concerns and legislation. Joining us on the Kogo News Live line is crime prevention analyst Chris Copeland. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
So what are some of the benefits of using drones?
Well, I think some of the benefits are pretty self-explanatory. You get the ability to utilize technology to put it in danger versus, a firefighter or an officer in places that might be too dangerous or where the unknown of danger isn't well established yet. You also get the fast result of resources being utilized versus having to wait on a helicopter or some type of aerial vehicle like a plane. Especially in firefighting and law enforcement when, some departments may not have access to that, or they may have to rely on other departments to facilitate that use. So, you can walk into an electronics store, plop down the city or the county or the state credit card and get what you need for fast reaction time. So those are some of the true benefits of utilizing drones, and not just aerial drones, but other types of drones as well.
Now, here in Southern California, we have a lot of brush fires and wildfires, and sometimes those drones can get in the way of firefighting efforts.
They can if they're civilian efforts. If they're civilian drones, absolutely. But when the drones are being utilized by the fire departments or by the wildfire firefighters, it can give them a perspective that they may not have, or that a perspective that may change before a helicopter or airplane can get to that area. We have the same kind of wildfires in Texas sometimes, and it's turned out to be a very useful tool.
Now, what about the privacy concerns, though, of local police, sheriff, fire using drones?
Well, the privacy concerns are certainly there, and primarily because no one has identified the expectation of privacy when it comes to personal airspace. If I'm sitting in my home, I'm surrounded by four walls and a roof. I have certainly a constitutionally and case law defined expectation of privacy. That's why you need probable cause. That's why you need a warrant to even wiretap or surveil. But if I'm out in my backyard, I'm technically on my property, but at the same time, I'm open to the airspace. And so the real question comes down legally, what is my right to privacy in terms of dealing with my own personal airspace? And where does that right to privacy begin and end?
So is there legislation right now?
There are some aspects of legislation, city ordinances, sometimes county and state have put a limit to how high you can fly drones. But the question comes down to enforcement. You have to capture a drone and return it to sender before you can know how to deal with that person and appropriately punish them. So it becomes a little more difficult to enforce these laws because drones are widely acceptable. They were widely available, and it's very difficult to track them down once they've landed. You have to follow the drone, and that's a waste of resources on local law enforcement.
Do you think we'll be seeing a lot more of them used by police and firefighters? Absolutely.
And then the reason is it's the pros for law enforcement outweigh the legal ramifications and cons. In Dallas, we had a robot that was utilized to end the standoff between the 5 Dallas officers who were killed last year and the shooter. The danger to officers was too great, and in that case, a drone was utilized to put it in danger versus another officer. The tool set is too good to leave unutilized.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. That is crime prevention analyst Chris Copeland joining us on the Kogo News.